Hello, I'm Caitlin. Today I'm going to be describing the Jurassic World Dominion trailer. I'll first do a standard real-time audio description, and then I'll do an expanded description. For simplicity, I'll be using some character names pulled from IMDb and dinosaur names from Screen Rant. A herd of parasaurs gallop through a snowy mountainous desert. Men chase them on horseback.
I wanted to show them something that wasn't an illusion.
They charge off into the distance, kicking up a cloud of snow.
Something that was real.
With a lasso around its neck, Owen Grady pets a parasaur on the snout.
Something that they could see and touch.
At a snowy lumber mill, Macy Lockwood watches an apatosaur cry out.
Creation is an act of sheer will.
A velociraptor stalks through a forest with its baby.
Life
Two other adult raptors appear.
will find a way.
The universal globe rendered in amber.
We can't keep her here forever.
They find her, we're never gonna see her again. We gotta protect her, that's our job.
Owen, Claire, and Macy watch the baby raptor play with its mother.
Humans and dinosaurs can't coexist.
A mosasaurus surfaces, fighting a fishing cage.
We created an ecological disaster.
A T-Rex terrorizes a drive-in movie. At a paleontology dig site,
Ellie Sattler.
Alan Grant.
You didn't come out all this way just to catch up now, did you?
You coming or what?
this summer, a mixed herd of parasaurs and horses traverses a savanna at sunset.
We're racing toward the extinction of our species. We not only lack dominion over nature,
A raptor chases Claire over rooftops.
we're subordinate to it.
It leaps after her. Experience the epic conclusion. Alan peers down at a massive circular forest complex. A feathered raptor stalks Owen and Kayla on a frozen reservoir of the Jurassic era. A dense locust swarm chases two children.
Come back.
I always come back.
Owen mounts a dirt bike and takes off down a narrow street. Raptors chase and nip at him. He peels out of an alley to face an allosaur and Carnotaurus. A raptor races along the rooftop and pounces. A warning light on a rickety plane. A shadow falls over the cockpit.
That's another plane, right?
Not exactly.
Massive claws smash the window. A Quetzal cutlass tears at the engine and absconds from the burning plane. A Nasutoceratops stampede rolls a truck. Baby raptor is trapped. Jaws snap at a cage. A Dilophosaur screams.
Don't move. Bigger. Why do they always have to go bigger?
The silhouette of a Giganotosaurus lumbers through the misty moonlight. A Tyrannosaur skeleton glows in amber. In theaters, June 10th. And now, I'll be going over it again with expanded description. Under a hazy, overcast sky, a thin layer of snow covers a mountainous desert full of dry shrubs and small evergreens. A herd of Parasaurolophus runs through, waddling their hips and tails. They are a grayish-brown ornithopod, with strong hind legs holding up a horizontal body, the head and forelimbs balanced by the tail. They have short, rounded snouts, and a long, curved horn arcing behind their head.
I wanted to show them something that wasn't an illusion.
Cowboys with hats and lassos chase after them on horseback. Owen Grady, a fit white man with short wavy brown hair, leads the men in a dark brown duster jacket. They charge off into the distance, kicking up a cloud of snow and dust.
Something that was real.
With a lasso around its neck, Owen reaches out to pet a parasaur's face. He squints at it with a knit brow.
Something that they could see and touch.
At a lumber mill, Macy Lockwood, a white teen girl with long dark blonde hair under a beanie, watches an apatosaur cry out. She is surrounded by several workers in orange vests and hard hats. There is snow in the air and a light dusting on the animal's back. The apatosaur is a sauropod the size of a large house. They stand on four thick legs that support the arch of their body. Their long pointy tail balances their long thin neck with a small head at the end.
Creation is an act of sheer will.
A velociraptor and its child stalk through a snowy forest. They are both gray with lengthwise blue stripes. They are theropods with 3-toed feet, with a sharp 6-inch crescent claw on each foot. They have long pointy snouts, and their thin forearms tuck under their chest. They sprint through the forest.
Life.
2 other adult raptors appear. One hops onto a fallen tree trunk, and the other sniffs the air.
We'll find a way.
Amber letters orbit an amber globe, universal.
We can't keep her here forever.
Macy watches as Owen approaches the mother and child raptor with an outstretched, open palm.
They find her, we're never gonna see her again. We gotta protect her, that's our job.
In a green temperate forest, Owen, Macy, and Claire watch as the baby raptor cries at its mother and then runs over to nuzzle snouts among ferns. Claire is a pale white woman with wavy red hair past her shoulders.
Humans and dinosaurs can't coexist.
In the churning ocean, a large fishing vessel suspends a cage full of fish with a crane arm. The massive Mosasaurus surfaces and snaps onto the cage. The Mosasaurus is a large gray aquatic dinosaur with a long, pointy 8-meter head and large paddle-like limbs. It drags the cage and crane, pulling the boat onto its side.
We created an ecological disaster.
At a drive-in movie, a red-headed child gawks as a Tyrannosaurus Rex roars in front of the screen. The film image projected over it burns and melts away to a white screen. Standing 15 feet tall, the T-Rex is a large brown theropod with thick 3-toed legs and tiny 2-clawed forelimbs. Its big chunky head with rounded snout and bony arched brows is balanced along its horizontal body by a long pointy tail. In the canvas tent office of a sunny desert dig site,
Ellie Sattler.
Alan Grant.
Dr. Ellie Sattler spins to see Dr. Alan Grant in the entry flap. Ellie is a thin, middle-aged white woman with long blonde hair and big bangs. She wears a khaki waistcoat rolled up to show the white sleeves underneath. Alan is an older, slightly tanned white man with a light gray beard and hair under a black-brimmed hat. He wears a dark flannel shirt with the sleeves rolled up.
Grant.
You didn't come out all this way just to catch up now, did you?
Outside the tent, Ellie is now holding her jacket. With the desert behind her, she turns to Alan with a stern look.
You coming or what?
With a grin and furrowed brow, Alan raises his head to meet her gaze. This summer. In slow motion, a mixed herd of parasaurs and horses gallops along a savanna, silhouetted against the setting sun. In a dense jungle, a Therizinosaurus stalks Claire, who is crawling through the ferns. It is a thin theropod with a long neck and 3 long claws on each forelimb. It's covered in thin brown fur-like feathers. In a blue shirt and jeans, Claire crawls into a duckweed-covered swamp with the Therizinosaur right behind her.
We're racing toward the extinction of our species.
Owen and Kayla watch with bated breath as a beaked dinosaur screams into the water right above Claire, rippling the surface. Kayla is an athletic black woman with thick black curly hair with blonde highlights.
We not only lack dominion over nature,
In a dark room with modern wood panel walls, Ian Malcolm lectures in a black shirt, leather jacket, and black-rimmed, light-tinted sunglasses. He is a handsome, tan, older man with gray hair styled back and a hint of facial stubble. Henry Wu raises his weary gaze as a computer monitor shows sections of a DNA helix being swapped out. Henry is a middle-aged, light-skinned Asian man with long hair graying at the temples. He wears a brown corduroy sweater.
We're subordinate to it.
In the hazy sunlight of Malta, Claire sprints along the stone rooftops. Chased by a raptor, she leaps across an alley to a lower building, and the raptor sails across after her. Experience the epic conclusion. Alan Grant stares bewildered out the window of a helicopter as they descend through clouds. Below, a massive circular compound is nestled in the mountainside with a river flowing underneath it. The cement sides rise several floors above the surrounding forest, but also has dense vegetation on top between the network of buildings. A raptor covered in red feathers stalks Kayla and Owen on a frozen reservoir. Kayla holds a crackling taser, and Owen holds a knife in a wide-legged stance. The raptor charges along a snow-covered walkway of the Jurassic era. In front of a red, dusty barn, Ellie stares in awe, pulling off her sunglasses with both hands. She wears a red button-up shirt tied at the waist. 2 children run screaming from a house that has been engulfed in a dark swarm of small, indistinct flying creatures.
Come back.
I always come back.
Back in Malta, Owen revs a dirt bike and takes off. He speeds down a narrow street lined with parked cars. 2 raptors chase him at full speed, snapping at his bike. At the top of a hill, he drags his foot and peels left into a plaza where an allosaur and a carnotaurus are terrorizing several fleeing civilians. Both are large theropods similar to the tyrannosaur, though both have smaller heads with a flat blade-like horn protruding from their eyebrows. The Allosaurus has arms larger than a T-Rex, while the Carnotaurus's arms are smaller. Owen bypasses the 2 big dinos and heads downhill on an even narrower street. Over his shoulder, he watches a raptor sprinting along the wall above. It pounces on him. A flashing warning light is held onto a plane cockpit by duct tape. Kayla pilots the scrappy plane with Owen in the co-pilot seat and Claire behind them. They all look around as a large shadow falls over the plane.
That's another plane, right?
Not exactly.
3 claws over a foot long smash in the windshield. Kayla pulls back on the throttle as a large Quetzalcoatlus claws and pecks at the wing-mounted propellered engines. It takes off as the engines are fully engulfed in flames. The Quetzalcoatlus is a large winged dinosaur nearly as big as the plane. It has a long yellow needle-nosed beak and a small blue fin-like crest on its snout right in front of its eyes. Its wings are thin, translucent webbing stretched between its very long forelimbs and short, stubby legs. Claire is falling through the air, still strapped to her seat, as the winged dinosaur swooped down toward her. At night, headlights shine through a cloud of dust as multiple cars weave among a herd of Nasutoceratops. One rams a truck, sending it rolling. The Nasutoceratops are sturdy 4-legged rhino-like dinosaurs with 3 horns on its face, and a thick bony shield extending behind its skull to protect its neck. 1 short horn sits above its beak, and 2 long horns jut forward above its eyes. The baby raptor investigates a furry carcass when it is snapped up in a net trap. The mother screeches at the net as a truck pulls up behind her. Macy winces as massive jaws snap onto a metal cage around her. Ellie and Claire stare out a small window bathed in blue light. The window has control stenciled on it in reverse. In a dark utility room filled with steaming pipes, Owen aims his scoped rifle. Alan holds a large wrench, and Macy stands between them. At night, Claire screams, face to face with the Dilophosaur, rattling its frilled neck. The Dilophosaurus is a small green theropod, with thin oval crests that run along the top of the head like an elongated V from the tip of the snout past its eyes. It also has a yellow and red frill that opens like an umbrella just behind its face.
Don't move.
In a forest at night, Alan, Owen, Kayla, Macy, Claire, Ellie, and Ian all stand in front of an overturned truck.
Bigger. Why do they always have to go bigger?
The silhouette of a Giganotosaurus lumbers through the misty moonlight. As its massive foot steps into the headlights, we see the forest behind them is on fire. The Giganotosaurus is similar to a T-Rex, slightly larger and with a ridge of spikes above each brow. Its forelimbs are small with 3 claws. A yellow glow illuminates a tyrannosaur skull. The light reveals the silhouette to be encased in a round piece of amber. In theaters, June 10th. Dolby Cinema, Real D 3D, IMAX. Thanks for listening. I welcome feedback, and also let me know what trailer you would like me to describe next. Find us at adconrad.wordpress.com. Audio description recorded by Caitlin Walsh. Written by Kensuke Nakamura and Caitlin Walsh. Edited by Kensuke Nakamura.